Thank you, Provost Chesley. I appreciate that. Welcome this morning. As our panel is getting set up, I'm trying to stay out of the way so I don't get ran over or anything. You are in for a treat this morning. We are talking to former GRCC students who are all first-generation students when they're doing their time here at GRCC. And as you get to listen to their stories and as you hear them this morning, I think you too, as I have already, will be inspired and will be encouraged about what we're getting ready to do this academic year. I'm going to introduce them to you very briefly, and then after that introduction, we're going to see a video that will stage the conversation for us and will have a lot to do with what our dialogue will be with our former students this morning. And we will get into that just in a little bit. I'm going to tell you their names. You will learn much more about them as we get further into our morning, but let me give you names real quick. I'll go down the row and then hold your applause at the end. You need to go crazy and wild for them and encourage them this morning. Ruben Pena is here on the end. Sean Smith, Mike Grimes, Elisa Perez Ariano, and Denise Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our panel. They claim to be nervous this morning, so I told them that one of the best things that a public speaker can do is speak about something they know, yourself. So they have the best topic that could ever be done in terms of having this morning, and I know you'll be encouraging of them. Please sit back and watch the video, which will frame our conversation this morning.
I've always wanted to go to college. I don't want to go because I want to be the first one in my family to go. That's not the reason for me going. I want to go because I want to go.
Going to college is important to me because none of my family members have been to college, and I'm trying to be the first one to be more educated.
I'll be the first one to go to college in my family, so, it's going to make me feel good, like I'm number one.
I want to go to college to become something in life, to prove to my parents and everybody that I can do it.
Get up at 5:30 every morning, 5:30. I live in Inglewood with my mom, and I go to L.A. Jordan High School in Watts, California. So I take 3 buses and 2 trains to get to school every day. First day of 10th grade, I got locked up for possession of a firearm. Did 5 months in camp. It really got to me. I really seen, if I don't turn my life around, I could be in here for years. I did so good in camp, they let me out 10 days before Christmas. From there, I just turned my life around. Well, I've been going to Jordan since I was in the middle of 10th grade. It's in a not so good neighborhood, but I stay to myself, have my headphones on, go to school to learn.
200 miles north of Dante, Jess lived in the rural mountain town of Lake Isabella.
A lot of people don't appreciate our school because it's so small. We don't have a lot of new things. They don't think that there's a lot to be involved in, but there really is if you just want to do it. I'm vice president for the junior class, and I'm running again for senior class. I do stats for varsity football and varsity softball, so I just like to be a part of it somehow, part of the team.
45 minutes down the canyon road from Lake Isabella was the city of Bakersfield. Considered the oil capital of California, it was also the home of Cecilia.
I was born here in Bakersfield, and I've been here all my life. I've never moved. My dad came here first when he was 17, and my mom, she came here when she was 23. She works in the fields. Her hours are like 5 in the morning to like 3, 4. There's 9 people living in my house. My mom, my 3 brothers, my sister-in-law, and 3 nephews. So it's always crowded. We're always like, excuse me.
By Cecilia's junior year, she was taking nearly all AP classes, plus a class dedicated to helping students get into college. Just south of Los Angeles, nestled between Compton and Bellflower, was the city of Paramount, home to Kara Soma, or, as his friends called him, Soma.
I attended Paramount since my 9th grade year all the way to my junior year right now. Play football, volleyball, rugby, track and field, and I'm in the PI club. The PI club is a group of kids that wants to learn how to do dances, Polynesian dances, Hawaiian dances.
He's already said, Miss T, I'm going to be president of the club next year. And sometimes just throughout the day, he'll come in the classroom and say hi, give me a hug, Auntie, and then he'll leave. So he's just a sweet kid.
It's really great working with Jessica at the diner. I didn't graduate high school. I quit school when I was a senior. So that's why it's been so important for me to, have her succeed.
I have a lot of family. Most of them live in America Samoa. My mom moved down here and I was born in Compton.
I'm a busy mother, When they're young, I take care. When my husband was here, he helped me. But now I'm doing the job all by myself.
Last year, March 5th, I was at the hospital with my pops, and out of nowhere, he started getting sick. Called my mom and my brother to come. My mom seen that he was struggling trying to breathe and stuff. So my mom just told the doctor to take out the machine thing, and then my dad passed away. And that's what happened.
Soma knew that going to college would have made his father proud. So despite his family's financial situation, he was determined to find a way. While Soma's family worried about how they were going to pay for college, in Inglewood, Dante's mom, Arlene, currently living on welfare, was worried about finding a job.
Well, I was on drugs for like 24 years. Took me all the way down. That's my Dante right there.
Yeah.
He takes care of me. I'll come in here and don't do nothing, and he'll come in here and clean up the whole house. He takes care of me.
My dad, he wasn't here when I was born. He was put into jail and then bailed out. And then January 25th, I remember, of last year, a law passed saying that any resident that commits a crime is immigrated out of the country. And he was in a detention center for a year and a half. And just a few weeks ago, they deported him. This is a picture of my dad. Right now, everything's uncertain. We might just go visit him over the summer when we, don't have school, or we might just, I don't know.
As junior year was coming to an end, the college admissions process was just beginning. Step 1, take the SAT.
To tell you the truth, the SAT was the hardest test I ever took in my life. I seen words I didn't even know how to pronounce, how to say.
I think I did pretty well on the writing portion of it. That wasn't very hard, but I don't know. We'll see when my scores come.
I'm taking the SAT test. That's coming in June 7. I feel confident because it's like any other test. All I gotta do is just pray to God and stuff to help me trying to pass this test.
I'm taking the SAT and ACT. I've heard that they're really hard, and I want to score lots of points so I can get accepted to a good college. This
was Cecilia's 3rd year in cross country, and she was the 2nd fastest runner on the girls' team. Running had become more than just a sport for Cecilia. It was a way for her to escape the pressures she felt at home.
Hispanic women are expected to stay home and clean the house and take care of their husband.
I don't want to be a housewife. Like, I want to be an independent woman.
My mom's thinking about moving to Mexico to go with my dad, and she wants us to go with her. I'm gonna have to listen to her because I'm not 18 yet, and I'm scared of her, like, making these choices and changes.
Senior year, I'm not even sure what to think about it.
Have a good year. Be sure to see me first thing. We can start on those scholarships.
I know, I need to talk to you about that.
Today is the first game, lock game. It's cracking. You see my voice is going already. It ain't even started yet. It's so live. I'm so ready. We focus the first game. We ready. Lock. Let's go.
Dante was intent on getting a football scholarship, and today was his first chance to impress the scouts. Cecilia's mom was making frequent trips down to Mexico to visit her dad. Tired of being left home alone and nervous that the trips would become more permanent, Cecilia decided to move in with her best friend's family.
Okay, I feel like I actually can have a future with this family. And it's easier here, and, like, I don't feel by myself.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Karasoma is a very unique young man. He has a lot of charisma and personality, but college is not usually something that's pushed in their culture.
Like many of his peers, Soma's educational goals were driven by his economic situation. In fact, 25% of Pacific Islander children live below the poverty line, and college is often seen as their only way out.
Poor students are predominantly underrepresented in higher education.
With senior year well underway, Cecilia was the first student to meet with her high school counselor for her graduation check.
I see that you've been taking all of the right courses, including your AP courses and honors classes, and you've done very well. So have you started to take a look at your scholarships? Or
No, I haven't, but I'm planning to.
Okay. A lot of times, family members can provide some money too. And a lot of times, aunts and uncles and grandparents have saved a little bit of money. I'm not sure, have they done anything like that, have they said?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
I'm on my own.
You're on your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of these students have never even set foot on a college campus. They think it's private territory, even if it's a public like UCLA.
Hopefully, I get accepted to a historically black college, like Atlanta A&T, Georgia, Clark.
Dante's grades had been drastically improving since he got out of juvenile detention his sophomore year. Now he had an overall GPA of 2.8 and was working hard to try to make it on the honor roll this year.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Come on in. As far as your standing in your class, there's 144 seniors this year, and you are number 14, which is something to be very proud of. So what do you think you're going to do after high school?
I don't really want to leave home. Like, my whole family lives in the valley, and I don't have a problem commuting back and forth to a different city.
As counselors, our challenge here would be to bring the outside world in, so that they realize that there's a whole world of possibilities out there. A lot to think about.
I think that going to a 4-year and living somewhere else would be really exciting, but at the same time, it's going to be really scary.
After winning the first race of the season, Cecilia began to blow away the competition.
Hey, man, you did a good job. Congratulations. Thank you.
I had a coach from BC. He just told me if I wanted to run and stuff to contact him, give him his card.
Bakersfield College, or BC, is the local community college that many students from Bakersfield and Kern Valley decide to attend as an alternative to a 4-year university.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm all right.
You ready to do your grad check?
Yeah.
Okay. When you look at your graduation requirements, there's an amount that's required for graduation for a diploma, and then there's the recommended requirements for when you're applying to colleges. So in the spring, you're going to have physics, Spanish 2, your senior English.
I gotta take physics?
It's highly recommended. On your to-do list, see Miss Cox for SAT prep class on Saturdays. And then I wrote Mr. Whitman also has the SAT prep during the week. So at least you have 2 options, but I think with your schedule that you're probably gonna want the Saturday. Okay? Okay.
So, you are a senior now.
Yeah.
Is that exciting?
Yeah.
What do you want to do after high school?
Well, my dream school is USC, but I don't know, like, I had to do a lot of work to get my GPA up that high.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, thank you.
It's the middle of my senior year, and we're doing good. We're in the playoffs, and everything's good, you know. So I signed up for the ACT, and that's the same day as the big game. So if we make it, I'm gonna have to, I guess, reschedule that or something. The classes I've taken, you know, after if they're still available, I'll take them to help me out for my preparation. But if not, you know, I'm gonna just have to do my best and try my hardest. That's it.
Put eyes on me! 1, 2, 3!
My parents got a divorce in my freshman year, and my dad and like our relationship is a lot different now, I'd say.
So what happens if some of these scholarships don't come through? How do you think you're gonna be able to go?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if I have to, then I'll get a loan, I guess. That's not what I want to do, but...
Well, what about going up here for a little while, taking some of the classes you gotta have?
I don't want to go up here.
Well, they got a community college up here, Cerro Coso. I know there's some classes that she's got to be able to take. I know in the world these days that you need a college education, so they say so. I personally believe some of the people that go to college, just because they have a piece of paper doesn't mean that they know what they're doing, and at least in the business that I'm in, so.
We're doing this because we know it's better for us, but at the same time, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my whole entire life.
I just found out that Michelle's parents and her family are moving, and I have to make a decision whether I go with them or I stay with my mother. I love my mom, but it's just hard living with her.
Have you spoken to your mother about moving out of state?
Yes, she said she wasn't okay with it, but she was going to let me do what I wanted to and what I needed to do. Leaving my senior year is dramatic. And no matter what happens, I'm going to go to college.
I should have went and talked to my counselors about applying to colleges like early, and for her to help me, because right now I'm really struggling through like applying to it and the money thing.
Soma lived with 9 family members in a 2-bedroom apartment. Because of the cramped quarters, Soma slept on the couch while his mom made her bed on the living room floor. With such a close-knit family, Soma's mom was concerned about him moving away for college.
Who's going to pay the fare and everything?
That's why I'm signing up for FAFSA.
What is that again?
Financial aid for students. We get money for college.
That's good. So how long are you going to be in the college or something?
4 years.
Oh, my God. Wait. I don't know how I'm going to take it.
Down in Inglewood, Dante's football season had ended with no prospects of a scholarship. Now he and his mom were wondering how they would pay for college.
Me not being able to help it myself, you know, it doesn't make me feel less than. It's just, I wish I could.
I really had to get this Cal State, out of the way, so that could be for sure, I can get out of here.
Yeah,
basically,
no.
Black colleges I want to go, but if I can't go, I'm not about to cry about it,
She could go anywhere she wants to go, obviously. They're telling us that that's what she can do. But, money's always a factor, so.
I want to get a bachelor's. Yeah. I mean, I would be okay without it. I would be able to get a good job without it, but...
It is going to be a little bit difficult because, we get child support from your dad. and that's going to end on your birthday. It scares me. I'm scared. I got 7 months because I have a $400 check that I get every month, and that's going to not be here. And I'm scared to death. And I don't want you to feel pressure.
That's what would help with going to BC, though. You know, it's not as way less expensive than going to a Cal State. And you know, just all the scholarships that you can apply for and hopefully get. A lot less stress on you and your mom.
Yeah. Ooh.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's get into their questions. So that's kind of what we wanted to frame things. You saw in the video a lot of talk about family and the level of family support, the level of family that was involved in these students. So I want to start out, and Sean, I'll start with you. Talk about family as far as their encouragement, support, expectation, as far as what you had. What did that look like for you, Sean?
You would pick me first.
You had a microphone.
I always say that my mom was the big encouragement, and I was raised by all women, so I really didn't have any father figures. I kind of looked to different men, and I kind of took little traits from all of them and kind of figured out how to pattern myself after each and every one of them in a certain way. So I think the encouragement that I got from extended family, which I call kinship networks, different people that lived in the neighborhood, and also my mom just encouraging me. Like I wanted to be the expectation that she had for me. So after a while, she'd see me in a certain light, and I said, you know, I like giving you something to brag about, so I want to continue to be that. So just me rising to the standard that she had for me, and her encouraging me, that helped me. I always say that she wasn't able to empower me, and when I say empower, I mean that in a financial sense. She didn't have the money to be able to send me to certain places, but her encouragement was that push that I needed. So how she perceived me, I wanted to adopt that, and then I wanted to continue to be that to the community and to her as well. So I think that's how family helped me.
Good. Denise, what do you think?
Oh, I'm second, huh? Well, I actually have two phases of when I went to school. My first time when I graduated from high school and went to school, I didn't have much support or anything from my family because my mother believed that if you go to school and then get a job in a factory after you graduate, that was it. That's all you needed to do. So I didn't have any encouragement. I didn't understand, like the students on the video, about financial aid or anything. But then after I worked in the factory for 18 years and then decided to go back to school, my life situation kind of helped me out a lot. And then I had the support of my daughters. I have 4 children, and I had the support of them because they have kind of gone before me. And I had the support of a lot of family, friends at that time to help me out. So that's my story.
Yeah. Ruben, talk about that a little bit. The expectation, was there expectation? What did you find?
I've always found that my mother has been the biggest contributor to my education. She's always pushed me to do better by myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do out of high schoul. So she gave me the option of helping me get to college or to look at other means to be able to empower myself to do college, such as the military. And ultimately, that's one that I took to be able to make my own way through college and decide what I wanted to do from there. Yeah. And she's always been the biggest factor in that.
Yeah. Elisa.
Good morning. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about why or who supported me throughout the journey. I immigrated to the United States when I was 16 years old. It will be 15 years. And when my father brought us to the United States, he told me, Elisa, you are here to get a higher education. You are not here like me, breaking your back o trabajando como burro. That's what he said. You are here to learn, to succeed, to learn English, to be the best. And I think my dad, as you might see it on the video, this Latina Cecilia, she was told that she needed to stay home. In my case, no. My dad supported me. He did not finish middle school, and that might be the reason why he said, Elisa, you have to, if you came to the United States, is to get something else. I don't want you to go and work at a factory. You can do more. You have potential, and I believe it, and that's why I'm here.
Mike, can you speak a little bit to that as far as from a family helping prepare you for college and what that expectation looked like for you?
Yeah, neither of my parents went to college, so there wasn't an expectation at all that I needed to go or finish a program or anything. So they kind of had the idea that, you finish high school, that's good. That was good enough for us. So it should work for you as well. And so I had to really kind of fish for support from high school teachers and kind of inside myself to really get that motivation to go and achieve something. So I also there wasn't a lot of financial support either. Both my parents were working, and I didn't have family members, really extended family members, to be able to help. So I had to again find that motivation to go and look for whether it's scholarships or apply for FAFSA and look for the subsidized loans and stuff. So.
Now, Mike, you just touched on something that I was going to ask next, and you went there talking about the financial side of it, and what did that, in terms of finances, how did that affect? Because we saw in the video a lot of conversation that talked about what dictated where they were going to go, when they were going to go, and a big piece of that they talked about was the finance side. So, Mike, you started talking about it a little bit. Talk to me a little more. What did that look like in terms of finances, and how that influenced where you attended and the timing of attending school?
Sure. When I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in any way, and I knew that I didn't have a lot of financial support even if I did know what I wanted to do. So GRCC definitely stuck out as okay, this makes sense. I can without spending a massive amount of money on a 4-year program right away, and then finding out maybe it's not for me or it won't work out. I can kind of come here and find my bearings, kind of. And so I guess that it was the price, I guess, of GRCC and the ability to be able to not have to have this huge lump of money that you have to throw away right away, that you're not sure what you're going to get when you're not sure exactly what you're even getting into. Really kind of solidified GRCC for me. But
yeah, Ruben, talk a little bit about that. How did finances dictate those decisions for you?
Like I said, they did a lot because I didn't have any support from my family either. That's why I chose to join the military. That way I could pay for my own school. And so that ultimately was the biggest factor of me joining the military was the financial part, and then just figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, because I really had no idea.
Yeah. Sean, I know from bio and conversation this morning, talk a little bit from your standpoint. What did that picture look like as far as your decisions financially, and why you decided to where you attend and how, and the timing of that?
Yeah, to keep it all the way real, I really didn't have a choice. I had to make a decision. It was either I was going to GRCC or I wasn't. So I decided to go to GRCC. And at the time, my first semester actually being in here, I could relate to Soma's story because I was in a 2-bedroom apartment with 8 people. We didn't have screens or nothing like that, so in the summertime, in the thick of the summer, you would hear a mosquito flying over your head and you got bit. So that was my situation. And also during the nights, oftentimes we would all sleep in the same living room because we only had one air conditioner. So that was my situation. I used to have to do my homework in the bathroom. So not only was my financial situation just bad, also my living situation, it was like, this is my reality, this is what I'm looking at. If I don't make a change, then we'll continue to have 8 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Sean, as far as our conversation in your bio, share a little bit about what you went to school, came to GRCC 2 years, I believe, after graduating high school. You talked about in your bio why that it took 2 years. Talk about that just a little bit.
This embarrassing.
Well, I don't want to embarrass. No, but
oh no, I mean I made it in the smallest sense. Now I'm okay, but at the time, I didn't know how to fill out a FAFSA. Just it was that simple. I never really had foresight when it came to going to college. I didn't really think about it. It was about survival. That's how I've always lived my life, just day to day. I had my daily bread, and that was it. And when I was going through that time and everything, can you repeat that question? I just lost my thought real quick.
It was the 2 years you mentioned in your bio, exactly what you just said, that point that you wasn't sure how to fill out the FAFSA, and so that delayed your entry in as far as coming to college.
Yeah, it delayed it because I just didn't know the simple things. I didn't know how to navigate. And I didn't have anybody to go to. I go to my mom, and she'd be just as confused. By the time I got to maybe 8th grade, I started bringing homework to people, and they'd look, and they'd be like, I don't know, ask your teacher. So that's why I made real good connections with my teachers and my professors, and I've used that as something to help get me through college up until this point. But yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know how to fill out a FAFSA. I didn't know how to come down here. I didn't know how simple it was. I didn't know what an acupuncture test was. So all those simple things that we take for granted, that we just assume people know, I had no idea of them. And it's the smallest thing. So it's just like you never can make that assumption that just because it's simple for you that we get it. We don't. Some of us don't. A lot of us don't.
Thank you for that, Sean. Thank you. Elisa, finances.
Well, it's the same thing. I come from a very low-income family. My dad is a factory worker. When I started GRCC, it was back in 2004, and I was non-English speaking. I don't know how I made it through, but I remember that Ana Maria was always there for me to help me because, as he was saying, I did not know what to do because I didn't know the language first. I didn't know the system. I didn't know anything. Everything was strange for me, and I just needed that assistance, and I got that from the TRIO program. They helped me because it took me 4 years to graduate from GRCC because I had to take ESL classes the first 2 years, and after that my regular classes, but it was all worth it, and I'm here, and that's what it matters.
Denise, I want you to answer this next question. Be the first to answer it, so you can kind of get a little prepared for this one. It's one we talked about this morning at breakfast. So, let's say that I am a high school senior. Okay, I know I'm close. Well, of course, some people would think that as I was a senior on the other end, but I'm talking a high school senior in this case. So I'm a high school senior, and I'm getting ready to, and I'm thinking about college. I'm a first generation. If I go to college, I would be a first generation student from my family. And you see me, and we're walking, and you know that that's my situation. And we have a moment where we kind of stop, and you have an opportunity to have a short conversation with me, short as in just a couple of seconds. As a high school senior, first generation, if I go to college, I want to go to college, first generation, you have only a couple of seconds in that interaction. What would you say to me? as advice based on what your experience has been and how you have figured out and how you have had places like GRCC to help you navigate those things. Denise, what would you say to me as that high school senior?
What I would say to you as that high school senior is, first of all, don't suffer in silence, to ask questions. Get to know your professor, talk to them about your situation, reach out to all of the resources that are available to you, because there are tons of resources. Because when I started, I was also in the TRIO program, which helped me learn how to do FAFSA, personal counseling, everything that I needed help with. So that's why I say don't suffer in silence, because when I came to school here, I'm a single mom, and I was on food stamps and everything, so I didn't have a car. So there was lots of times I didn't have the money to print. And I was able to go to the TRIO program, and they helped me print. They helped me get the bus pass to go to school, to go to work. So that's why I say don't suffer in silence. Tell your story. Let somebody know, because there are resources out there that is available to all students.
Thank you. Mike, what do you tell me, that high school student? What do you tell me? What's your advice to me?
Denise touched on it, but just don't be afraid to ask for those resources. Like everybody deserves the support that's needed to go to school, and I think a lot of times it can be really scary to put yourself out there and really kind of dig deep and find those things that you need to get through. But I think just putting yourself out there and asking for help and really believing in yourself, I know that's easier said than done, but is what I would say.
Yeah. Sean, what do you tell me? I'm that high school senior.
For the high school senior, I look at him or her and I say brother or sister, and I would tell them that the biggest thing from where I come from is that you need to be able to delay gratification. That's a real big piece. I think especially now with social media, you see people progressing. Like you see like people document their progress. Like it's all Facebook, social media, all that's PR. You can say what you're doing, and it's always like, okay, what am I doing with my life? So you have to be able to look at yourself, and you got to say, okay, I need to stay the course, and I need to trust the process. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is being able to delay that gratification, because it's hard, especially when you're coming from an impoverished family. Nobody likes to look like the struggle. We might be struggling, but so that's why oftentimes you'll see somebody who work 40 or 50 or 60 hours a week, and they spend their money on things that you think aren't necessary goods, because nobody wants to look like the situation that they're in. So with that being said, and with that being your environment, sometimes you might want to stray away from the path that you're on because you want some of those material goods. So I tell them delay gratification, and that everything will come to fruition in due time.
Very good. Sean has assured me there will be a collection plate passed at the end of our time. Elisa, I'm that potential first generation college student, but I'm still in high school trying to figure it out. What do you tell me?
First, I will empower this person. I will share a little bit about my experience, and then I will help this person one-on-one. I will spend some time with this person, and then I will connect this person to the TRIO program. Just by making a phone call or being with this person there for the phone call, and just make that transaction and normalize the situation, because we are all nervous and sometimes we don't normalize those feelings, and it's good to say it's okay to be nervous, but there is help, and you're gonna get help, because I did.
Very good. Ruben, what do you say?
Along the same lines as them, I would say to get to know your academic advisor or your TRIO advisor. Going to orientation for a free t-shirt and stumbling into the TRIO booth was the best thing that I did in my entire GRCC career, because Anne Marie has helped me out so much.
I told you these guys were awesome. Here's what we need to do. I want to show you the last 5 minutes of that video so you know what happened with those first-generation students, and then I have one more question for our panel after the last portion of the video.
By the spring of senior year, Cecilia had moved out to Tennessee with her best friend's family. But as she settled into her new high school, she began to regret her decision.
When I just moved here to Tennessee, I felt very sad because I couldn't get into school. I was behind. Everything was just going wrong.
I need to make my own decisions. So on April 25th, I'm going back to my old high school, North High School, and I am graduating on May 29th. I've decided to go to CSUB because they offered and I signed a full contract with paying for everything.
There's a local scholarship application that we got a while ago, and it goes out to like 60 different organizations around the valley. So this night we get the results from that. This is sort of like the big deal here.
I would like to present two $1,000 scholarships to Jessica Chevalier.
Jessica Chevalier.
Jessica Chevalier. Jessica Chevalier.
I'm going to BC. Right now, it's a lot cheaper to go to Bakersfield College, and it's more of a career-based school, and I could get a job right away.
Of the schools that Soma did apply to, his first choice was Cal State Long Beach, one of the higher-ranked Cal States. It was also close to home.
So I got the letter. I was praying for a little bit. Open my eyes, open the letter. And I looked, open it, like, oh, I got accepted. Woo.
Getting accepted to Cal State Long Beach was exciting, but money was still a concern. Luckily, the financial aid letter came through in a big way.
I am so glad that one in my family is going to college.
While Dante had been accepted to Sacramento State University, by June, he still hadn't received his financial aid offer. Afraid that Dante wasn't going to make it and knowing that he had no one else to turn to, his counselor stepped in to make sure everything got sorted out.
Okay, with the housing, we have to do it right now. But by July 1st, they need $1,000.
It's kind of funny to think that I had almost a 4.0 most of my high school career, but I didn't go to a university. I ended up in a JC, which is fine, but like it's just funny to think about that to me. Things probably would have been different if money wasn't the issue, but it was.
Away from the support of his family and Enpine, Soma struggled with the transition to university life and was forced to transfer to a local community college.
About my dad, I think that he's really proud of me just being in college and really growing out to not be a ghetto person or being that person that's a gangster. But I'm just glad that he's watching over me.
I ran at UCLA last weekend, and during the race, I beat some of the UCLA girls, and that's when I felt like, okay, I could have gone there.
Once Cecilia was in college, she realized that there were a lot more opportunities for low-income students, especially ones like herself who did so well in high school.
I feel like if I would have pushed a little harder, I could have gone to UCLA. Like I could have made it on my own, and it's kind of sad now.
When we last saw Dante, his financial aid package was up in the air, and he was worried he wouldn't be able to afford college.
What ended up happening is since, the financial state, my parents are in, I end up getting the maximum amount to cover everything. I'm glad that I'm here.
Dante finished his second semester at Sacramento State with a 4.0, and he has hopes to walk on the football team in his sophomore year.
I mean, the talent is out there. And the question is, can we as a nation put the tools in the hands of these young people so they can chip away at those blocks of poverty and contribute so much more to their lives and to their community?
By 2020, America will once again have the highest proportion of college graduates in the world. That is a goal we can meet. That's a goal we can meet.
Okay, so let's end this time period so you can find out what your GRCC graduates and former students have done and what they're doing now. So here's the question. They already know it. They're going to tell you what they did here, how they finished up, what they are doing now, and then I've also asked them to give us, as faculty and staff here at GRCC, give us your little piece, a gold nugget, a little piece of advice that we need to hear so that we know and keep in mind, especially as we start off our semester. So, Mike, you're holding the microphone. You knew that was going to happen. So tell us what you're doing now. Tell us what you did here, how you finished, and give us that golden nugget.
Sure. So I did 2 years here at CC in 2009, 2011, and then through the TRIO program and the MyCup program, I ended up going to Michigan Tech, where I received my bachelor's in computer science. I'm now working for Amazon.com as a software engineer in Seattle, Washington, and I've worked with working with Michigan Tech to start up a early career advisory board to help kind of bring in what the industry expects from students and kind of give faculty and professors at the school an idea of what students need to be successful in the workplace. And my one piece of advice, I guess, is similar to what I mentioned earlier about the student not having a reservation of reaching out. I think it's a two-way street. If you see an opportunity as a faculty member to really reach out to a student and maybe kind of encourage them, or if you see something in them that maybe they don't see in themselves, just really try and encourage them to kind of live up to that, I guess.
Yeah. Ruben, you tell us what you're doing now, what you did here, what you're doing now, and that your little gold nugget that you can leave us with today.
All right, I recently just graduated with associates last May here for networking, and I'm now doing Fair State, the 3-in-1 program for computer information systems. And I also did the MyCup, and I went to Michigan Tech, so I plan on going up there for my master's degree, switching over into computer science. And my little advice would be, a lot of the kids that I noticed here while I was attending, they don't seem like they want to be here, but they woke up for a reason. They got to class for a reason they want to be here. It might be difficult to see, but they want to be here, so just remember that.
Thank you, Ruben. Sean, tell us about what you got going now. What did you do here? What you have going now, and leave us that golden nugget. What can you leave us with today?
Okay, I did 3 years at GRCC. I'm claiming 2.5. I'm claiming 2.5. Right now I'm a senior at the University of Michigan. I'm studying sociology, minoring in community action and social change. So right now, I'm not waiting on my degree to give me permission to do the right thing. So I'm already involved in organizing and just gathering people to go out and stand up and be somebody. So that's what I'm doing right now. I came back here and I did an internship with the Alpha Beta Omega program, ABO. I'm sure many of you probably know Andre Fields and Eric Williams and everybody else who works with that program. So I worked with them this past summer. And I would say that my golden nugget of advice would be for the faculty, for the staff, is I know that we got a curriculum and we got course objectives and things like that, but when you're in the classroom, if you can, because this is valuable, be willing to give those rants. Like, go on those rants about real life. Be willing to talk about things that's practical, because most students that come to a community college, when we get out of here, when we step out of here, we dealing with real life. So if y'all can give us real life scenarios and talk to us about y'all life, I don't care if you a pro at profanity or something like that. Like, just be you. Like, be willing to give us who you are outside of your job, because we coming to you with everything that we got. Like, some of us, we coming in and we got situations where we have children, some of us coming from impoverished backgrounds. We bringing all that to the table. So bring you to the table and be willing to give us life lessons, because we need that too. Those are the professors that I remembered, the ones that I talked to in their office hours about life. Like, those are the ones that I'll be able to reference back to. So we need that. We might not need it at that moment in time, but at some point we will, and we'll be able to reference it back to you. So be that inspiration.
Thank you. Elisa, tell us about what you do, what you've done, what you're doing now, and leave us your golden nugget.
I'm just gonna share a little bit about how GRCC impacted me during my 4 years. In 2007, I was selected to participate in a study abroad program. I was the first ever here at GRCC through TRIO. I went to England for 2 weeks, all pay. And then the next year, I was again selected to participate in an internship for 3 months in Liverpool, England. And I was also the president of the Latino club here at GRCC. And after that, I graduated from Grand Valley with my bachelor's degree in social work. And I also have my master's degree in social work. I'm planning to get my PhD very soon. And I work for HealthNet of West Michigan. I got a lot of opportunities with this organization to do what I love, and that is social justice and advocate for the vulnerable and people who are impoverished. And I'm so glad and happy to be able to do that. One recommendation that I will do to the teachers is that if you see a student challenging, please stop, take a minute, and help this student one-on-one. Because the teachers, probably some of them, I'm here, I don't see them right now, but you stop and help me. You stop a minute and help me to understand something that I wasn't able to understand. And that's why I'm here. Your time is well worth it. And you invested in me, and that's where I am right now, because you helped me to not be a drop-off student. Thank you.
So Denise, tell us what you did here, what you were able to finish. Tell us what you're doing now, and then leave us with your golden nugget.
Okay, I graduated from Grand Rapids Community College in 2010, and I transferred on to Grand Valley State University, and I have my bachelor's degree in social work. And I'm considering my master's degree. I'm not quite sure right now. Because of the positive experience that I had at GRCC, in my heart, I always wanted to come back and give back to the place that helped me get my start. So I had a call from someone who works here from the TRIO department, and they were telling me about a position that was open. So I actually applied for it, and I got a job, and I work in the College Success Center. So I was a part of the program, the Fast Track program, over the summer. So I was able to come back and give back to help students who started off like me, who took the Accuplacer and didn't score very well and had to take all of those classes. So I'm here to help those students who are at risk. And my nugget is, believe in your students, because I had so many people when I came here who believed in me. They saw things in myself that I couldn't see, and they kept speaking it and speaking it and speaking it to me. So my thing is just please believe in your students, because they may have it in them, but they just don't know it until you are able to help them see it.
So many of the things that they said, it sounds almost cliche-ish, but listen to the words of those who have been through it. It sounds like a cliche to say, be there for someone, say something to them. Don't just let them go without talking to them. Sounds like a cliche. Friends, it's real. You're hearing it from our students. GRCC, please thank your graduates, your students, for their work this morning. All right, let's go, guys.